If you've ever been ghosted by a client, you probably know what that feels. It feels a little icky and it feels like you've done something wrong and you don't know exactly what it is. Well, I'm about to share 4 strategies and how you can stop clients from ghosting you and how to better manage these situations. Hi, I'm Jody Ann Rowe, founder of the Event Certificate, and I work with event planners and wedding planners to help them book more clients and double their revenue. That's right, I'm a digital marketing expert specifically for event and wedding planners. So here I'm going to share with you 4 strategies and how you can prevent the whole ghosting situation. We want to prevent those bad dates, right? Well, I can't help you with the date stuff, but at least I can help you with the clients. Now, when clients ghost you, there's probably a multitude of reasons why this happens. Maybe they were just shopping around. Maybe they were just checking out different planners. They possibly could just be people who are not very responsible with following up, or they didn't like something that you propose or your price. It could be anything. But whatever the reason, I want to offer you some strategies that can help. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to actually take a look at your first contact and your process. So when that client first interacts with your business, are you responding in a timely manner? Are you responding professionally? Are you asking them a question to prompt a response, right? I want you to include those things as a part of your process because they ensure that the client has an expectation of what the experience will be like when they are working with you, should they hire you. So if your first contact process is not impressing them, I really want you to review it. Tip number 2 is that I want you to gather information. I know, you're probably like, what does this have to do with booking the clients or the clients from ghosting me? Well, here's the thing. So many wedding planners send out these 6, 10, 16 pages questionnaire, and I really want you guys to stop that. Now, I know the questionnaires are useful, but before a client has actually booked you, sometimes they can act as a barrier. Here's why. You're probably not the first wedding vendor that the client has encountered. So if they've encountered a venue, they've gotten a questionnaire. If they've encountered a photographer, they've gotten a questionnaire. If they've contacted 3 wedding planners, they've gotten 3 questionnaires. That's 5 questionnaires. And my assumption is that this is the minimum they've done. So what I want you to do is I still do want you to get that information from the client, but try to make it as easy as possible for them to get it to you. So in the first initial period, ask the least amount of question but the most pertinent information to get started. Then when you meet with the client at your consultation or over the phone, that's where I actually want you to get majority of the information from them rather than sending the 16-page questionnaire the minute they ask you what your price is. So that's something you definitely need to consider because it is a barrier for some clients and not everyone enjoys the experience of sitting and regurgitating information over and over again. And just think, you can probably get the same amount of information in a 2 to 5 minute call than you can in that 16-page questionnaire. So definitely look at that process and how you can change it. Tip number 3 is that I want you to give them a deadline. Yeah, I know. So many planners don't do this. I will meet people and I'm talking to them about their process and clients ghosting them and they'll say, I have so many people and they never responded. And I'll say to them, what was the deadline that you gave them? And you know what I get back? A blank stare. That's right. Guys, if you're not giving your potential clients a deadline, how do you know that they've passed it? You have to give them a deadline. And that can be anything from a deadline in a proposal. So this is where you'll say to them, okay, you have until this date where the proposal is no longer valid, or you can give them a deadline to respond. You'll say, if I don't hear from you in a week, I'll just assume that you've decided to go with someone else. Whatever that is, you need to give them a deadline. That's your marker to know if they've made a decision or not, because that's going to lead us now to tip number 4. So tip number 4 is that I want you to follow up. Once you've instituted the deadline practice, you now have a marker that triggers an action. And what I mean by that is once the deadline is passed, you know that you can now follow up. So if you gave them a week, at that point, you can follow up the day after and say, hi Jody, I haven't heard from you. Just checking in to see if you had any questions or if you decided to go with someone else. Without that, you're probably in limbo wondering what happened. You have to institute those deadlines and follow up. Now, if you follow up with a client and you haven't heard from them, it's okay to pack it in and move on. Because guess what? Not every client's going to hire you, and some will just go away and won't respond, but at least you will have a process in place where you know that professionally you've done everything you needed to do to try to secure this booking. So you gave them a deadline, you followed up, they never responded, file it away and move on to the next client. Now, if you have any questions, of course, drop them below and I'm happy to answer them for you. And if you would like to revamp or look at your entire client process and how to improve that, set up a time to speak with me and let's discuss how we can actually work to do that together. Now, you know I'm going to say it, so here we go. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the button so that you can get more videos like this one notified right on your homepage week after week.